Good morning, and it is morning. It's 4:15. I've not done a video for a while. Been busy with all sorts of things. Moving house, unboxing, building furniture, that kind of stuff. I was away last weekend. Had a live stream up on YouTube for a little while, but that's been taken down for legal reasons. All sorts been happening. So I thought, while I'm up, I'll do a little bit of a review. I've got some sort-off stuff coming up and various other projects. I've got lots of Internet-of-Things stuff happening at the moment, as well as other little projects around the house. So I thought I'd have a start with these. Now, I bought these on special offer on Amazon. I was hoping when they arrived that they'd be easy to get into and there'd be a standard 8062 based device and I'd be able to reprogram them. Pack of 4 from Amazon. I'll stick the ad in here. Wasn't too expensive and they look like quite nice, neat units. In the past I've been using these son-off devices and chopping power leads and putting those in line. There's various ones of those around the house, but I thought it'd be quite nice to be able to just have something that I could plug in that stays nice and neat, doesn't take up too much space on an extension lead. So let's have a look at them. The manual smart Wi-Fi plug. Download the app, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Apparently works with Alexa, but then so do lots of other things, so yeah. How do we get in it? It is looking very glued. And I've got a bit of a gap. Little crunching noises. This is going to end up smashed. Yeah, I can see it's glued, but I think a lot of the glue just snapped. There we go. We're getting somewhere. Unreasonable force and all that. Okay, it's happening. We're getting in. So they are openable. And we're in. Oh, that's nice. Light pipe there, button on the side. Separate RF module. How is that connected? Nice, well, I see a relay, some capacitors, fuse. Fusible resistor. Oh, it has energy monitoring. That's what that is. It's got a shunt. So we've got transistor and diode, which I assume off the coil. You can see connections from the diode going down toward the relay. couple of LEDs. Over this side we've got a 16 amp fuse, 10 ohm 1 watt resistor, a MOV, diode, a couple of resistors there, big inductor, a couple of small but high voltage capacitors, 400 volts, big resistor here, 0.001 ohms, so that's the input current measuring shunt. So down here inside there's a big inductor, diode and a capacitor tucked between the mains pins. There's a small micro or something. Usually at this point I would suspect that the children have moved my microscope, but I don't remember seeing it since I moved house. So probably me. Bother. Right. We have this Wi-Fi module in a can, and the board goes through the board at the bottom. You can just see the bottom of it soldered on the board there. So there isn't the programming header I was hoping to find, and it looks looking where the power comes in, neutral there, and live just there. I can see the contacts underneath, goes down through the board over to the pins, so I don't imagine that board will come out easily. The earth pin goes straight through past this shutter, and that looks like it's riveted in. Nicely made, but not as hackable as I hoped. Need to see what's under this can, I guess. If it's ESP8265 or something in there. We have connection wise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 connections on that side, 6 connections, 7 connections, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, there's 14 pins between that board and the main board. I can see a trace coming from this shunt resistor down to the passive components here. So I wonder if that's an amplifier or comparator. It looks like a voltage regulator. Let's see if I can get a closer look at this. I suppose we're going to have to take that can off. Or try and unsolder this though. Need this plastic out of the way. I can see clips on the plastic, but the clips are on the other side of the PCB. One of them just broke. Oh, here we go. Oh, that's better. See now, it is now just held in by the two solder pads. Right, I guess we're going in. It's melting easier than I expected. I wonder if that's proper solder. Well, that side isn't. Strange. Probably shouldn't have taken all that solder off. There we go. A little bit of fresh solder on that side. Out we come. Right, that's left a big mess. It looks like screws, it's actually smashed on, sort of riveted. So looking at the bottom we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pins on the Wi-Fi module. Live in, neutral in, that says neutral out. So neutral's coming in into this huge resistor, huge R001, tiny resistor, and then straight out. Live is coming in, 16 amp fuse up to the relay contacts, back down and out. So we're going to have to uncan that RF Wi-Fi thingamajig. Ah! Unmounted the EEPROM. Well done. So my next challenge is to try and follow that pin out. I wonder if I knocked a component off there as well. It's possible. Right, I'll do that. I'll figure out I'll figure out what all these components connect to, so hopefully we'll have access via these resistors or the pins on the bottom to try and reprogram it. It's not as nice as the Sonoffs with the header, but it may be doable. We'll have to see. Okay, I figured out the pinouts for that Wi-Fi module, and I'll insert that here. I'll put it in at the end again, and on the bottom of the board I've figured out where all these tracks go to as well, so we should be able to reprogram it and do some useful things. Now the programming pins, helpfully, are right down at the bottom here. So I reckon we can figure out where to drill here, so you don't have to take the whole thing apart. I'll do that in a moment. Let's just have a quick look around this board first. So we've got the neutral and live coming in, neutral and live out, large hole for the earth pin to go through, resistor, capacitors, there's diode down here. This is a switch mode power supply IC. An inductor and capacitor is part of the power supply. 5-volt relay. I have a current shunt on this side for measuring how much power is going through it. Little button for putting it into programming mode and for manually turning the relay on and off. 3-volt regulator. These resistors just here, they're just connecting the micro to this IC, which is a power monitor chip. The resistors and capacitors down here, they're going from the top of the shunt to this IC, from the bottom of the shunt to this IC, and on the other side onto the micro. We have two LEDs over here, transistor drives the relay. The two LEDs, there's a blue one which is connected across the relay, and a red one which is controlled by the micro. So let's figure out where to drill it. Line that up, and then in editing I can mark on exactly where those contacts are underneath. So we're going to use +3, and ground, and then transmit and receive. This is the one that I managed to knock the flash off of, so I don't know whether it works. I've not reconnected it to the mains to see, but let's see what happens when we connect it to a programmer. So, ground 3 volts. Transmit wants to go to receive. Receive is orange, and receive, transmit to receive. Okay, what else do I need? I need GPIO 2, don't I? So not GPIO 2, GPIO 0. 0 needs to be pulled low to put the ESP into flash programming mode. That will be there. Now we can quickly test this with a USB power supply. Well, we have blinky lights. So let's see if I've got GPIO 0's pin out right. Turn it all off. Hold down the flash button. Power up. Well, that looks like it's gone into flash mode, which means the next step is programming it. Okay, after a little bit of fiddling, I've managed to get the code in, and it all seems to be working. Have relay control from the button, and also via Alexa, turn pom-poms off. Alexa, turn pom-poms on. So, these are for Kirsty's fairy lights, which she refers to as the pom-poms. So let's get it soldered back together. Check when you take the wires off that you don't unsolder the board. Like that, okay. So I guess it's time for the mains test. Does it go bang? No. Excellent. Alexa, turn on pom-poms. There we go. It works. Oh, one more thing. Because it was glued together, you'll need to glue this back on.